Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. And now I bring to you picks for week 6 of NCAA football. For reference, right now, of course, we do have MLB playoffs and the NFL playing right now. Wilson's hurt, so I am terrified of what is going to happen to Seattle. I think he might come back in, maybe by some miracle. I hope he does. Otherwise, the Seahawks are in major trouble. But anyways, welcome back to another episode. Today we do Week 6 picks for NCAA football. And we start, of course, always with our shockers of the week, but we also try to do cheapest tickets, which I don't really know what the cheapest tickets are. I know I think there's some game that's like $2 this week. I can't remember what it is. Uh, I'd have to really look at it. So I apologize. There is no option for cheapest tickets of the week this week. Don't really have anything for you. I'm looking right now to see if I can find anything. As of right now, there's not really much I see. So, unfortunately, I don't have anything for you guys. It did not really come prepared. So, you'll have to go without cheapest tickets of the week. You can look for yourself, I suppose. So, we start with shockers of the week, and we'll go to mine first, as it's the top one. And this is an interesting one, many people might think. But I don't really like a lot of the matchups this week, and this is about the only one I have, and this is a big time pointer, and I could see it happening, and that is Florida State beating North Carolina. Now, this sounds like a really bold pick, and I know it is a bold pick, but Florida State coming off their very first win of this season, taking down Syracuse. Yeah, Syracuse is bad, but this is a big time game for Florida State. They finally get in the win column. They're going to be excited. I mean, this is a 17.5 point line. So if I get this right, I'm going to get the exact same amount of points as I got for USC Stanford. But this would be a big upset for sure. But this North Carolina team has been all over the place. We keep seeing them have big time struggles. And this Florida State team is coming in with some confidence. And I'm going to take the Seminoles in a shocker of the week pick for an upset. Like I said, it's a bold one. But that's what I have for this week. Serbenski, I have their shockers and their picks. So I'll be making all this for them as I go along. And Serbenski's upset of the week or shocker of the week is actually Illinois beating Wisconsin. And this is another one I could totally see. But that's what Serbenski has for this week. He's got the Fighting Illini taking down Wisconsin. Illinois, of course, their quarterback Brandon Peters. Wisconsin, they major league struggled against. Michigan last week. And Sam's shocker is Arkansas beating Ole Miss. This would be 6 points for Sam. And I mean, this is a 50-50 ball, I think, personally. I have Ole Miss, but I mean, this is really just where we we just throw something at the dartboard and hope for the best, because this is a college football is very unpredictable, and that's really the name of this game. I mean, we have a lot of fun just picking random teams and seeing if we're actually right. So that is Sam's pick for this week. He's got Arkansas beating Ole Miss. Well, we shall see. All right, we shall see. And so we start off the week actually with my shocker of the week, which is Florida State on the road against North Carolina. I'm still taking North Carolina. My shocker is Florida State, but I think the Tar Heels likely will win this game. Sam Howell is a very good quarterback. He is a fantastic talent, and I likely do not see him having the Seminoles come into town to Chapel Hill and take him down. And Sam has the exact same thing, and if I'm correct, Jacob does as well, and that is a yes. So we all have North Carolina taking down Florida State. Up next, we have Sorbensky's shocker of the week, which is Wisconsin against Illinois. Illinois is going to be at home for this game. This is a 50-50 ball, I think. Wisconsin, you've seen a lot of bad things out of the Badgers this year. They have looked absolutely atrocious. And so I think this is definitely something that could go. I think this is something that could go either way with the Fighting Illini, especially at home. But I think Wisconsin gets it together. I think they finally rebound. Illinois just continues to look absolutely horrible this season. So give me the Badgers in a close one. Sam has the exact same thing, and so does Sorbensky. So he will be picking Wisconsin instead of his shocker of the week, just like me with picking North Carolina. So the next one, next one is our very own Michigan Wolverines as they take on Nebraska. As a Wolverines fan, I am terrified for this game. Because as much as we should win this one and should win it handily, we are heading to Lincoln, Nebraska in a primetime game under the lights. I can't even remember really the last time Nebraska had a night game against a big team. So this is going to be a kind of game I think that Nebraska is going to give. Michigan is going to get Nebraska's best. Nebraska is going to come out with some fire. They're going to be running on all cylinders. Adrian Martinez, I think, could have a pretty good game, but I'm still going to be a homer. I'm going to take Michigan. I think this is going to be a close one, but I still think the Wolverines get the job done. Won't be pretty, kind of like it wasn't against Rutgers, but I think the Wolverines do get it done. I think they escape Lincoln with the win. Sam has the same thing, and I believe, yes, Sorbensky does as well. So once again, we all have the same team. And our next one is Wake Forest on the road against Syracuse. Now, this is an interesting one. Wake Forest just escaped last week playing Louisville. Syracuse took their second loss of the year against Florida State, which is not a good loss. But it is a road game, so, there is that much. I think this is going to be an interesting game. The Carrier Dome can get very loud. But I still have Wake Forest winning this one close. I could see it going the other way, but I'm going to take Q's to win this one I'm going to take Wake Forest to win this one in a close battle. And I believe both Stravinsky and Sam have the same. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay, and now we move on to the next one, which is Michigan State on the road against Rutgers. This is an interesting pick as well. We've seen Michigan State have some really good-looking games like that Miami-Florida game that they had in Hard Rock Stadium. And then we saw them against Nebraska, and we're like, oh, that's not good. Or against Western Kentucky, where they decided to give up 31 and win by 17. You still won, but 31 points to Western Kentucky, hey, that's not good. Anyway, Michigan State on the road against Rutgers. I think this Rutgers team is solid overall. They have a pretty good team. They're not too shabby overall. Still, I think Michigan State isn't going to take a tumble in Rutgers. I think the Spartans take the win in this one. I believe Sam, however, has Rutgers beating Michigan's. Do they both? No, I'm sorry, not Sam. Stravinsky has Rutgers. Sam has Michigan State, but Stravinsky actually took Rutgers to upset the Michigan State Spartans. As to why, he would have to tell him himself, because honestly, personally, I can't tell you why. But Stravinsky's pick is Rutgers to upset number 11, Michigan State. And the next one is Maryland against Ohio State. I would be tempted to pick Maryland if I hadn't seen last week. But I saw last week, which is why I'm going to, in Major League confidence, take Ohio State in a wipeout. That Maryland team did not look anywhere near as good as I expected against the Iowa Hawkeyes. I didn't think they'd beat Iowa, but I thought they'd make it at least close. Instead, they got trampled all over. Sloppy play, multiple turnovers, an ugly game from Maryland at home too. They're heading to the horseshoe. Expect more of the same in this game. Ohio State in a wipeout, and both Sam and Jacob both have the exact same thing. So we all have Ohio State beating the Maryland Terrapins. And now we have West Virginia on the road against Baylor. I expected more from West Virginia this season. I had them beating Texas Tech last week. Instead, they took a tumble at home to the Red Raiders. Very disappointed in that one. West Virginia actually played Maryland week 1, took a 6-point tumble. And now the West Virginia Mountaineers at 2-3 will take on the Baylor Bears, coming off their first loss of the year to Oklahoma State. I think Baylor bounces back. They take down West Virginia. This Mountaineer team just does not look good all year long. Baylor's like the only team in the Big 12 that has a somewhat legitimate defense. So I'll take the Baylor Bears to win this one. And Serbinsky and Sam both have Baylor as well. Yes, they do. They both have Baylor over West Virginia as well. So now we have South Carolina on the road against Tennessee. And this is a 50-50 ball. I've watched Tennessee, and I don't like Joe Milton, but I certainly do like Hendon Hooker. Well, I don't like him, but he's better than Joe Milton. So, and then for South Carolina, this team's always a pesky team, no matter what year it is. This team always comes with some fire. They got a new head coach this season. So I think this could be an interesting game, but I'm going to take Tennessee at home. I think this Volunteer squad does escape. I think they move on with a win here. They improve to 4-2, which I think Sam has Tennessee. He does, and so does Rensky. All right, we're all on the Tennessee train for this one. And the next one is Stanford on the road against Arizona State. And as I said earlier in the other episode, Serbinsky will be at this game. Yes, he is attending the Sun Devils game against Stanford, and both of these teams are coming off very big upsets. Arizona State beating UCLA in the Rose Bowl, and Stanford coming off a major upset at home against number 3 Oregon. So both of these teams are coming into this game with a little bit of an attitude. They're coming into here with a little bit of a spark, a little bit of some momentum. So I think this is going to be a fun game. I'm not a big believer in the Stanford team, but they definitely have momentum on their side. So does Arizona State. I expect a fun game, but I'm going to have the Arizona State Sun Devils taking down the Cardinal. They win at home, and they get a win for Jacob Serbinsky. Obviously, Jacob has Arizona State in this one. He's an Arizona State fan. Plus, he'll be at that game. And Sam, I believe, has Arizona State as well. He does. So, we're all once again on the exact same side. We all are taking Arizona State. And now we have Boise State on the road against BYU. And this is one of those games I think, honestly, is going to be better than people think. BYU has been pretty solid all year long. But then Boise State has kind of had a slow start to the year, but they're an annoying team. I think this Boise State team will get it together. They'll pull it together soon enough. So I'm going to go with BYU, but honestly, I could see BYU taking a tumble to Boise State. And it would be a surprise. I think it would be a big surprise to a lot of teams to see BYU take a tumble to 2-3 Boise State, but I definitely see it being somewhat possible, and they also have BYU, Sam and Serbinsky, both took the Cougars to take down the Broncos. So our next one is TCU on the road against Texas Tech. Don't really know about this one. This is one of those Big 12 games, so expect a massive shootout. Um, I think this is one 50-50 ball. This one's going to be in Texas Tech. So, as Shermensky says, in those 50-50 balls where you never know, you go and when in doubt, go with the home team. And that's what I'm doing today. I got Texas Tech taking down the Horned Frogs. I'm not impressed by TCU this year. I'm not impressed by Texas Tech either, but Texas Tech has looked better than TCU. So I'll go with Texas Tech, which I believe is the consensus pick, as I believe everybody else had. Oh, no, never mind. I'm sorry. Srebensky has Texas Tech like I do, but Sam has TCU. So here's the second game where we actually differ on something. And our next one is Louisville on the road against Virginia. This is another 50-50. I mean, I have no idea who's going to win this game. The Cavaliers are at home. I like Louisville's team. Virginia, though, not a bad team overall. Definitely someone to be reckoned with. But I'm going to go with Louisville. I believe in the Cardinals. I think I like this team. I like Cunningham. This team's got some talent. I think the Cardinals get it done on the road in Virginia, which I don't know if that's the consensus pick. Sam has Louisville. It is. We all have Louisville winning this week, so yet again another consensus pick. And now we have LSU on the road against Kentucky. Obviously, Kentucky coming off that big upset home against Florida now returns home again and takes on LSU team coming off a disappointing loss to Auburn, dropping to 3-2. Now they head to Kentucky. I don't know how good this Kentucky team actually is. So this is a hard game to pick. I think LSU has got a solid team. They're not too bad this season. This is a hard game to pick in my opinion, but I'm gonna go with Kentucky. I'll go with the Wildcats here. I think this is going to be a fun, close game, but I think the Wildcats, especially with just getting ranked and LSU coming off a bad loss, or, well, not really a bad loss, but a disappointing loss, I think the Kentucky Wildcats did get it done, as we all agree on this one as well. Sam and Jacob both have Kentucky winning this week. And our next one is a really good Pac-12 game, and that's USC against Utah. Now, I do not like either one of these teams. Well, I mean, I kind of like Utah, but then when they lost Charlie Brewer, not really so much anymore. And they also lost to San Diego State in triple overtime, which I really don't think they should have. They had no business losing that game. But now we have this is a really good one in Utah and USC. This is one I definitely could see going either way. But every time I see USC at home against somebody, they keep Major League dropping the game. I mean, we saw them against Oregon State. Oregon State pounded them. We saw them against Stanford. Stanford pounded them. And I don't think Utah is going to pound them, but I don't believe in USC whatsoever. And I keep picking against them, but I'm going to pick against them again. I think Utah gets it done in the Coliseum. I think the Utes have a decent team, even without Charlie Brewer. So I have Utah winning a close one here in USC as they look to continue their fight for the Pac-12 South. I mean, they're not out of it just yet. They're obviously still looking to make it. So I'll take Utah. And Sam has Utah as well, but Srebensky will go with USC. So we'll be differing on this one as well. Next one is Virginia Tech at home against Notre Dame. Notre Dame coming off their first loss of the season. Virginia Tech at home in this one. They're 3-1 this season. Their only loss being to West Virginia in a upset. This is a interesting game. I think Notre Dame is not a great team, but I think Virginia Tech at home in Blacksburg going to be a very difficult team to beat. And so I'm taking the upset. I'm taking Virginia Tech to knock off the Fighting Irish. Yes, I'm a Wolverine fan. This might sound like biased, but I think Virginia Tech has got a solid team. Notre Dame, not really impressed by them whatsoever. They keep slipping away in games. Cincinnati finally exposed them. So I think Virginia Tech can take down the Fighting Irish this week, and Sam's on board with me. He has Virginia Tech taking down Notre Dame as well. However, Straczynski has a safe pick. He's got Notre Dame winning this one in Blacksburg. It definitely is a game that can go either way. But I think Virginia Tech gets it done at home, takes down number 14 Notre Dame, gives them a 2-game losing streak. Alabama, number 1 Alabama at home again, or I'm sorry, not at home. Bama on the road at Kyle Field against Texas A&M. The Aggies, coming off a disappointing upset last week to Mississippi State, dropped out of the rankings from number 15. This A&M team is really, they're really tumbling down further and further, especially without their starting quarterback. And as much as this is at Kyle Field and it's a night game, I think Bama still wins this one. It could be close, you know. I think A&M definitely has the capability of making this an interesting game, but without their starting quarterback, this team's in trouble. So give me Alabama. And we are all on the same page for that one. We all have the Crimson Tide over the A&M Aggies. And now we have a rivalry this is another rivalry actually in the SEC. A&M Alabama obviously is a rivalry. But the next one is another rivalry in Georgia-Auburn. Another rivalry within the SEC. This is a bigger rivalry, of course. But Georgia... obviously, very good team. Lots of talent to be had on this Georgia squad, especially defensively. Auburn, Bo Nix is trying to keep his starting job. He hasn't really been great this season. Fans are really disappointed in him. I think Auburn, especially at home, can make this a very fun game, but Georgia is too good a team to be going down in this one. Give me the Bulldogs in a close win. I think it'll be a close win. But I think the Bulldogs have what it takes to get this one done, as do Jacob and Sam, as we all are on the same page. We all think the same thing for this one. So we all have the Bulldogs, and now we have another SEC rivalry in Arkansas on the road against Ole Miss. These two teams took major tumbles last week to the two teams we just picked, which was Alabama and Georgia. So we'll actually get to see how good these teams are when they play each other this week. So this is going to be a really good game. This is going to be a fun game for sure. I expect a lot of fireworks. Ole Miss doesn't really have a defense. Arkansas doesn't really have that much of one either. So I expect a lot of fireworks to be had in this game. This is one that goes either way, but Ole Miss has a potent offense. I don't really think Arkansas is going to be able to outscore them. Give me the Runnin' Rebels, or I think it's Runnin' Rebels, but give me Ole Miss. Let's say Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss in this one. And Sam has Arkansas. He's going with his upset pick still. This is his shocker of the week. He has Arkansas beating Ole Miss. But he... Oh, I'm sorry. Not Ole Miss. What am I doing? He has Arkansas as his pick for this week. He's going with his shocker as well. But Straczynski's on my side. He has Ole Miss taking down the Razorbacks. And now we have two big time matchups. The first one is the Red River Showdown, Red River Rivalry, or whatever you really want to call it anymore. This is a big game. It is a great game every single year. It doesn't really matter where either team is. These two it's down to the wire almost all the time. Comes down to like the last snap. And this is going to be a great one. I mean, last year, what was it? Quadruple overtime between these two teams. I mean, it was an absolutely incredible game. And now it's number 6 Oklahoma on the road, or not on the road. This is a neutral site game. It is in the Cotton Bowl. So number 6 Oklahoma against number 21 Texas. 50-50 ball. Who really knows? I mean, Oklahoma has kind of slugged their way through the first 5 games, barely winning almost every single one of them. Texas took a tumble to Arkansas and has won really the rest, but not really against any great teams. So this is going to be the first really, I'd say, significant battle test for both teams. I mean, Oklahoma played Kansas State. That's a decent team. But this Texas team is pretty solid overall. So I expect a lot of fireworks in this one. There's not really great defenses on either side. So I think this is going to be a very fun game. I think either team has just as good of a chance to win it. But I have the Oklahoma Sooners in a very close game. I think they escape yet again, and they move on. They push Texas down to 4-2, remain undefeated on the season. And now we head to Sam's pick, which is, I believe, Texas. He has the Longhorns upsetting the Oklahoma Sooners. It'd be a big upset for sure. But he has Oklahoma going down to the Longhorns in the Cotton Bowl. Serbensky, I believe, he has the Sooners. He does. He has Oklahoma beating Texas, and then the big time Big Ten game. And it is now an ESPN College Game Day, and the only reason I can really assume that is because Fox is having their version of College Game Day in Iowa City. So I don't think ESPN so I believe ESPN and Fox can't be in the same place. So ESPN instead decided to take the Red River Showdown as their College Game Day location, which obviously is not a bad place to be. But game of the week, in my opinion, I mean, it is game of the week, obviously. No one really is going to argue that, I don't think. And that is Penn State on the road against Iowa. This is a 4 o'clock Fox game. Don't want to miss it. Big time Big Ten game. Winner of this one obviously remains undefeated. This is one that I think goes either way. Penn State is more of a defensive team. Iowa's obviously a defensive team. So this is going to be very fun. Defensive struggle. Lot of very fun game for sure if you love defense. And I don't mind defense. I like it. It's fun to watch. Any kind of football for me is fun to watch. But I have the Hawkeyes. This Iowa team plays very well at home. It is very hard to take down the Hawkeyes in Iowa City. Of course, they don't really play well outside of Iowa City, except for last week. But this Iowa team has looked very good this season. I think Iowa gets it done at home in Kinnick Stadium, as does Bo Serbensky and Sam. So once again, on the same page. And that is it. So thank you for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please do right now. If you, that's it for this episode. So thanks for listening. Until next time, we shall see you on the next episode, which actually I'm going to be doing that right about now. And that is MLB Playoffs. See you, everyone.